Have you ever opened your calendar and realized it's basically just a list of commitments that other people put there? Meetings that you didn't plan, deadlines that you didn't schedule, but nothing that protects your time for doing the work that really matters. The calendar isn't the problem, it's the setup. Most people use Apple Calendar with zero configuration, and it's mainly just a passive list of events. In this video, I'll show you how you can go from this to this, so your calendar actually helps you plan your week instead of just reacting to it. This is my primary view, is the weekly view. Now, I actually prefer to see this in a 2-week format so that I can see this week and next week at the same time. Calendar doesn't have that option built in. On the general settings, you can choose the number of days per week, so either 5 or 7. But there is a way to set this up to show you 2 weeks at a time. So I'll explain how to do that a little bit later in the video. You can see in my weekly view here, I've got all these different colors for different entries. I set up separate calendars so that I can track different parts of my life and assign different colors to them so that I can kind of get an overall picture of what my week looks like just at a glance. So if I bring up the calendar's sidebar here, I'll just explain what my calendars are here. Most of them are fairly self-explanatory, but a couple of them are worth pointing out. Personal, work, meetings, YouTube, these are all things that are parts of my life that I like to track independently. But time blocking, to be confirmed, and environment, these are the ones that are maybe a little bit unusual. Time blocking, the way I use that is to highlight just routine stuff that I do every day. My morning prep, getting ready in the mornings, breakfast, that kind of stuff, lunch, dinner, those sorts of things they're not really commitments. I mean, I could do them anytime, but I like to see the time marked out on my calendar when I'm looking at the overall picture. None of those are commitments to that specific time, so I could easily change those if I needed to, but I know that they're there. Just some of them, particularly like lunch, I like to have that on my calendar so that I don't just work through the day, because I'm prone to doing that if I don't have some sort of a reminder that, hey, it's time to take a break. To be confirmed, this is things that are tentative on my calendar. I like to flag those in a particular calendar and in a particular color so that I can quickly glance at the week. And if there is something that's scheduled but hasn't been confirmed yet, I'll see it. So let's just say I had something coming up here that hadn't been confirmed yet. I would put it on the to be confirmed calendar. And now when I look at this calendar for the week, I can see that's red. So I know that I need to confirm whether or not that's actually happening. And the environment calendar, I wish I could remember exactly where I heard this. It was on a podcast of some sort, probably 20 years ago at this point. Somebody was talking about having this environment calendar that basically just tracks, it's not really commitments or things that you have to do or anything that is scheduled. They're just overall big picture things. So in this case, I've got this Q3 consistency entry here. This is on my environment calendar, and it runs from June 29th to September 27th. So it stretches for the whole Q3. And my overall theme for this quarter is consistency. I want to get a little bit more consistent about publishing these videos on YouTube. I want to get more consistent with getting into the gym or walking every day, things like that. So that in this case, I've got that on my calendar just so that I see it every day when I'm looking at my calendar, and it helps to remind me that that's what I should be focused on for the next 12 weeks or 8 weeks or whatever's left. So it's just there as a reminder. If I'm booking something, I can see what's going on just in big picture. If you only have one calendar set up, obviously everything that you add to the calendar is going to go into that one. But if you've got multiple calendars like I have here, you can set the one that you want to be the default. So anytime you just add something to your calendar, that's the calendar it goes into. So again, in settings, in here, there's a setting for default calendar. So I can change this to whatever I want, but 9 times out of 10, if I'm adding something just spur of the moment to my calendar, I want it to go into my personal calendar. So that's the one that I have as the default. When I'm doing planning, I switch between the week and the month views. The week view is where I typically work from 90% of the time. And like I say, I work with a 2-week view. So why don't I show how that works right now? Because calendar doesn't have a setting in the actual settings panel to set it to 14 days. This does get a little bit nerdy having to make this change. You have to get into the terminal and run a command in the terminal to adjust it. So I'll put a copy of this command in the description down below if this is something that you're interested in. What this does is it updates this particular settings information in macOS, this com.apple.ical, and it changes it to the days of week to 14. So now you could change this to something different if you wanted to see 12 days or 3 days or whatever it might be, something different than what's in the settings for calendar. But in my case, I want to see 2 weeks, so I'll change this to 14. And you can see in behind here, it is now showing me 2 weeks in my calendar. So it's a little bit tighter view, but I just like to see 2 weeks worth of information. This is the view that I work from 90% of the time, and this is where I'll do my daily reviews and even my weekly reviews, for that matter, is in this week view. So this is really the one that I use most of the time when I'm doing my planning or just reviewing what's coming up over the next day or the next week or whatever it might be. But the month view is the other one that I do use. I use this one mainly so that I can see how packed any given day is. So if I'm doing my monthly planning and I've got projects that I want to look at, or I want to plan some time for something, I can see at a glance how many things are on a given day. And this is where it's helpful sometimes to turn off some of these calendars. Like, I don't need to see what the time blocking stuff is on those days. I probably don't need to see my environment items. I just want to see the stuff that I actually have scheduled that are sort of commitments to doing things. I want to see how busy certain days are. So if I was looking at the next 2 weeks, this week and next week, to see where I could slot some time in for a project that I wanted to work on, Friday would be the best day in both weeks because the other days are relatively busy. So if I go back into my weekly view, you can see it's still at 2 weeks. It'll stay at 2 weeks unless you change it either with that terminal command to something different, or you can go into the settings here and now you can see it's blank because it doesn't recognize 14 days. So if you go in here, you can change it back to 5 or 7. So you're making that change in terminal isn't permanent, but it does kind of override what these default settings are in calendar. The way I look at my calendar, there's a couple of different types of entries on it. There's things that happen at a specific time, like this group project check-in, or say this Cardinal Black concert that I went to. Those are scheduled at a specific time. If I'm not there at that time, it's not something that I can do at any other time. But some of them, I think of it more in terms of work sessions than specific events. So things like plan next video or work, these aren't specific things that I'm doing then. Like, I'm not scheduling a meeting with someone for this video or, anything like that. I'm just blocking off 3 hours on Monday morning to plan my next video. This time is blocked off on my calendar to work on this, but the actual work that I'm doing is all coming out of reminders in my tasks list. That's where the actual activities I'm doing in this time are going to come from. So this time is a little bit flexible. I mean, I want to be committed to it. If I put something in my calendar, that's what I intend to do then. But, if I wake up late this day, or if something goes sideways and I have to drive one of my kids somewhere or something like that, this can easily be adjusted. Where something like this group meeting or a concert, they're a lot less flexible. So my calendar is kind of made up of two different types of things. And that's one of the reasons that I have meetings on a separate calendar from work, is so that I can see those things that are hard commitments that I have to be at a specific time if I'm going to be there at all. And by putting these things on separate calendars that each have their own individual color, it makes it a lot easier to see at a glance, just by looking at my week, where there might be imbalances. So if I looked at this when I'm planning my week and I see that I maybe only had one light blue block in here, I know that I'm not putting enough time into my YouTube channel to actually get a video made. And again, if I uncheck the time blocking just to get that stuff out of the way, it makes it more obvious, because all those yellow things are not really important. They're just there to highlight the times for me. Digging into the individual entries a little bit more, there's quite a few things that you can add to these when you're putting them in. Obviously, you can put a location. So if I have an address for something like this, Cardinal Black Show here is a better example. Maybe this one is at the Fox Cabaret. That's the concert venue. So it's got the address, and by putting the address in here, I can add an alert to tell me when I need to leave. But you can also add your own options to entries. So let's take this Canyon Loop hike on Saturday, for example. If I double click that to bring up the details, and then I click on the time, there's a few options here. You can have it repeat. So if this is something, say I wanted to do it every Saturday, I wanted to spend the afternoon hiking the Canyon Loop. If I change that to every week, you can see it pops up on the next weekend here as well. And will continue to be there for all the weeks going forward. But the one in here that I use quite a bit is travel time. So with this, you can set a certain amount of travel time. Now, the Canyon Loop hike is roughly a half hour from home for me. So if I set that to 30 minutes, it actually adds 30 minutes to the front end of the entry. So it's dotted lines here. That tells you it's the travel time, but it doesn't change the timing of the event itself, but it does block out the extra time at the beginning for travel. So it just helps me to, again, not overlap things too much. I'm better at this than I used to be, but I used to pack my calendar so tight that I would constantly be scrambling to get to the next thing because the last thing sometimes was cutting it a little close. Another feature that Calendar offers for entries here is meeting links. So in this case, I've set up this example meeting here through Microsoft Teams. So when I added the entry, I just pasted in the Teams details, and it picks up the Teams link to join the meeting and adds it as an actual join button here. So if you get I don't know exactly what services this supports, but I know it works with Zoom and Microsoft Teams. I'm guessing it works probably with Google Meet as well. But if you have a video conferencing or a meeting system that you're using, Calendar is smart enough to recognize those links for the major ones at least, and add the join link right into the meeting. So you don't have to go digging through your email trying to find the details or find the link that you need to get into the meeting. It'll just add it right into the entry. If you've been watching my other videos on reminders and notes, this is where you can start to tie things together into a more cohesive system across all three of Apple's main productivity apps. In this other calendars list here, scheduled reminders, you can actually have Calendar show your scheduled reminders from tasks on the day that they're scheduled. So if you turn that on, you'll see up top here, they get added into the all day section at the top. Now, because I have this running in 2-week mode and in a relatively cramped space, you won't see the actual checkboxes here. You will if you have a little bit more space. Like if I switch back to 7 days here, you will see the checkboxes here. And if I was going to work completely from calendars and have my tasks pulled in here as well, in this case, it would probably make more sense to work from the day view because you get a little bit better picture of what those are. They aren't going to get cut off if they're longer. But personally, I don't like having my tasks in my calendar and having everything in one place like that. I treat my calendar as my time, basically. It's tracking what I'm doing. It might be a specific meeting or a specific commitment of some sort, or it might be a block like record video or edit video where that stretch of time is just set aside for a particular item, but it's all about my time. I prefer to have my tasks in a task manager so that when I'm working on those tasks, that's what I'm looking at and that's what I'm focused on. So I don't use this, but if you like to see your tasks and your calendar all in one place so that you have a single view for everything you're working on through the day, this is an option. You can also link to notes in Apple Notes from Calendar. So in this case, I've got a link here that I've shared into a note for this monthly touchpoint meeting that I've got set up. So if I click that, it takes me straight over to that note. So I just set this up as an example, but if I had a monthly meeting, I would probably have a running note with agenda and notes from each month's meeting. And this note would just get longer and longer as those meetings go on. I don't really know why Apple is a little bit inconsistent with their apps and what you can share from one place to another. But unfortunately, there's no option to share a note to Calendar from Notes itself. So you can't just attach a link to the note directly you can't drag the note over to Calendar to attach it or share it from the sharing list. What you have to do is get a link that you can paste in there. I have another recent video that goes into a lot more detail about how this linking between apps works. So if you're interested in learning more about that, I'll put a link in the description down below and link in the top corner of the video as well. But with this link in here and the reminders tasks listed at the top on the day they're due, really you can do all your work from Calendar itself, and everything's tied together. Your reminders task list is connected to your calendar. Your calendar is the specific entries are connected to the related note in Notes, so that everything is easy to get back and forth from one place to another and just get your work done. When you put everything together, you'll shift your calendar from just a passive list of events to an active planning tool that helps you manage every part of your life. If you've got any questions about anything that I covered in the video, or maybe something that I left out, leave a comment down below and I'll see what I can do to help. And if you want to learn more about how to get the most out of Apple's productivity apps, these other recent videos can help. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.